Today's the greatest Christmas movie ever made, Die Hard. On Christmas Eve, John McClane, a New York cop, arrives in Los Angeles to visit his estranged wife and children. He is taken to the office Christmas party at the place she works. The party is taken over by terrorists led by Hans Gruber. They are there to steal $600 million in bearer bonds. McClane manages to escape and hide out in the elevator shafts and air ducts. He wages a guerrilla war against the terrorists. He also manages to contact the police and fires and dumps a body on the arriving car to get their attention. He manages to blow up a rocket launcher to save a team of SWAT that was sent in, and takes out the entire floor in the process. He gets his feet injured in a gunfight with the falling glass. The FBI plan to take over and plan an attack when they deliver the helicopters requested by the terrorists. Only it's a trap, and McClane must save the hostages on the rooftop. An unscrupulous reporter reveals the wife of McClane, and Gruber uses her as a hostage. But a final confrontation sees Gruber falling out of the building to his death. So, today's the greatest Christmas movie ever made, although there are some unfortunate individuals who refuse to acknowledge that, and probably also the greatest action movie ever made. It was a 1988 movie directed by John McTiernan, with script by Jeb Stuart and Steven D'Souza. And D'Souza has done a lot of action, like 48 Hours, Running Man, stuff like that. He's a real great one. And it was based on a book called Nothing Lasts Forever by Roderick Thorpe. Now, of course, expectations were not very high for this movie originally, but on a $20 million budget, it made over $140 million, so it was a very huge success. It was probably the 10th highest grossing film of that year and highest grossing action film at the time. And it even got 4 Academy Award nominations, all for the special effects stuff and that. It didn't win. And, it also was a big boost to Bruce Willis's career. Now, before that, they were offering this part to a lot of the more traditional big-time action stars. I mean, Schwarzenegger was one of the first ones they considered. But, he wanted to branch into comedy and did Twins instead. And of course, they offered, Sylvester Stallone, Clint Eastwood, Mel Gibson, Harrison Ford, Burt Reynolds, James Caan, Richard Dean Anderson, Nick Nolte, Paul Newman. A lot of people got offered by this. And they were a little bit, leery of having Bruce Willis, because he was basically a TV star at the time. He was doing Moonlighting. And, TV stars didn't really translate well into movies, they found out, like Bill Cosby and Shelley Long. But apparently he had a girlfriend at the time who, asked this kind of analytical agency or something to, analyze his being in a movie, and found out that it would have no negative effect on him being in it. So, he eventually got the job and paid $5 million, which is a pretty good, substantial amount at the time. And, it obviously made his career. He was a big action star after that. He's kind of more like the everyday man. compared to like the big muscular guys that was doing it before. And, he also has his own faults and stuff. He's kind of estranged from his wife and that, and he kind of screws up sometime and is not like the perfect action hero guy. But that's what kind of endeared him, I think, to the part. And he almost, he didn't almost do this because of his commitment to the TV series Moonlighting, but apparently his co-star Sybil Shepherd got pregnant and they stopped production on the series, so that freed him up for this movie. And the stars just seem to be right to get him into this, and it's obviously considered a classic. I mean, everyone loves this movie. It's really the greatest of the action movies, and it's had 4 sequels, and also it's had a lot of imitators. There's Die Hard on a plane, Die Hard on a boat, Die Hard on a train, Die Hard in hospital or something. They got all kinds of rip-offs and combinations of the basic concept of someone fighting these terrorists. And it's if you haven't seen it, that kind of shocks me. You must be living in a cave, because I think everybody's seen or heard of this movie. So I would definitely see it if you haven't, and you probably want to just see it because it's it's a fun movie. I still enjoy it. I loved watching it. So if you stuck with me this long, I thank you. You're a unique individual.